temporarily suspend the implementation of the Parate law. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva accuses that the management and trade unions have no interest in maintaining Sri Lankan Airlines. A no-confidence motion is signed against the Speaker. A hotline has been introduced for the registration of land rights under the Urumaya program. A set of guidelines has been issued to prevent school children from the negative effects of the excessive heat. An Australian company enters the petroleum trade in Sri Lanka. Ukraine president says that 31,000 soldiers have been killed in the war against Russia.
Now for those and other stories in detail, starting off with local news, senior DIG Deshabandhu Thennakon has been appointed as the new IGP.
Well, he is the 36th IGP of the country.
This appointment has been made by President Ranil Wickremesinghe under the provisions vested by the Constitution. President Secretary Samaneka Nayaka handed over the relevant appointment letter to Deshabandhu Thennakon this evening at the President's office.
The Cabinet of Ministers has given its approval to temporarily suspend the implementation of the Parate law relevant to the acquisition of properties when the people are unable to pay back loans. Accordingly, the implementation of this law has been suspended until the 15th of December this year. Many small and medium-scale entrepreneurs have faced immense difficulties, and some banks and financial companies acquired their lands and properties. This approval has been given by the Cabinet in response to an appeal made by Ministers Vijaydacha Rajpaksha and Ramesh Patirana. Well, Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva says that the administrative officers and also the trade union representatives of Sri Lankan Airlines has no interest to continue the business effectively. The minister made these remarks at a special discussion held today to call explanations regarding the recent delay of flights causing many hardships to the passengers. Well, the top officials of the Sri Lankan Airlines and also a group of trade union representatives were present at this discussion.
Today the demand is back, everything is back, and there's so much of demand for the people. So that's why we are also losing people, because they can find enough of jobs out overseas. So that's also the reason why the unions and everybody is pressurizing us for higher salaries also. You know
they should stop that.
Yes, so that is true, right? Everybody should work together. I must say that, I mean, the small people have been very helpful to the organization, but that's what the same thing I tell to the pilots and all these other salaries and the engineers. I have been talking to them for the last 3 months, 4 months for them to come into settlement. They're still pushing us. Okay, at this moment, I don't think there is any pressure from the engineers. They have realized it, and we have told them, look, first we need to safeguard the airline. Otherwise, there won't be any jobs for you to get any increments. So they understand that. But the problem, sir, right now what we are having is, as they correctly said, okay, we don't need to go back to the past. We have been trying to take some aircrafts, but anyway, due to our economic situation, the government at that time told us not to go ahead with the tenders. If we had gone ahead with those aircrafts, we could have easily taken about 10-15. Today, we wouldn't have had this problem. We also would have brought more tourists into this country, and we would have helped this country economically, right? And country would have earned more dollars. But unfortunately, we couldn't do that.
I don't, of course, agree with that. If tourists wants to come, it is not only the Sri Lankan, no, there are other airlines which can bring tourists, right? That's a separate issue.
No, sir, that is true. That is true, sir. It's like this. Sri Lankan airline, I mean, has a national duty also, no? So we are actually operating new destinations so that there are direct flights. Now, if you take Melbourne, or if you fly to India, or if we are flying to China. But you know, if we are not flying to those countries, sir, what will happen is they will have to come through other airlines. That's true, but there are no direct flights.
But we will give our routes to other airlines who are prepared to fly.
No, that's a different question, sir. But that is true. So now we understand that the government has a privatization process now. So if you talk from the board of directors, we have given proposals. Our proposals have been different. We gave the proposals even before the privatization process started. We wanted to probably sell catering, maybe yourself, ground handling. We wanted to settle all the government debt. Maybe at least half the government debt we would have sorted.
So shall we immediately take off ground handling from Sri Lankan and give it to some private party?
Sir, it's like this.
Then at least the ground handling will be done properly, no?
Correct. Sir, now, it's end of the day, it's a government decision.
Yeah.
We as
No, I will persuade the cabinet to do that. Because we have failed in ground handling now. Sri Lankan has failed in ground handling. Right? So you run the aircraft and catering also, right? Ground handling, we will immediately give it to a third party who can come and handle.
Sir, now we just now we explained.
Yeah.
This problem came not because of the ground handling. Correct. I think ground handling also there are many areas that we need to improve. We accept that, and I'm saying that they have to do a lot. Right, the management also must take it to their head and they must improve. And we, as you rightly said, we have given them the opportunities. We have hired them as management. We are expecting them to do a better job. That I accept. They must do a better. But sir, this problem came up because of lack of aircraft. Whether it was done by a third party, ground handler or we, they all would have seen the same problem. Right, at the airport, aviation also, getting
But Shaman, I accept all that. Yeah. But now the problem is, you are without aircraft, right? Your aircraft are ailing, right? You don't have the necessary capital. So how are you going to restructure? Then where flights visa කිසි පහක් දුවනවා. ඕක අඩු කරන්න 10කට. 10කට අඩු කළා aircraft එකක් තියාගෙන හදිසියෙන් කැඩුනම යන්න.
කරලා දුවන්න බෑ because you just now little while ago you said that the government is not funding. We don't get any funds from the government.
So then alternative is to ground it, finish it.
No, it's a decision the government has to take, sir. I think you have to discuss this with cabinet and you come back to us and tell what's your final decision.
Police media spokesman DIG Nihal Thalduwa says that further investigations are being carried out into the killing of public health inspector at the Pathiraja area. At a press briefing held in Colombo today, he said that if any public officer has death threats, they should immediately inform the police regarding the threats. Two unidentified gunmen have shot a PHI at the Karandaniya MOH office at Pathiraja area in Kurundugaha, Hatakma today. The victim has been identified as an administrative public health inspector, Roshan Kumar Vithanarachi. He was an executive member and a treasurer of the Sri Lanka Public Health Inspectors Union. He was shot dead when he was leaving the house for duty this morning. According to the police, late Roshan Kumar Vithanarachi was a clever officer who has revealed toxic condition of many food items sold in this area. LPTI police say that, however, the true reason for the killing is yet to be unveiled. Police media spokesman DIG Nihal Thalduwa said that the police are yet to arrest the suspects. Investigations are being carried out to reveal the motive of this killing. If any government officer has death threats in carrying out his duties, he should immediately inform the police and strengthen their security. Police will conduct extensive investigations over such complaints.
A hotline number has been established for the public to access the freehold rights of their land. Now, thereby realizing the objectives of the Urume National Program. Individuals are encouraged to register their requests by contacting the President's Office, Urume National Operations Secretariat via hotline number 1908 or telephone numbers 0114354 or 0114354 available from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. daily. Additionally, applicants can utilize the digital application form at the www.tinyurl.com/Urume to meet their requirements conveniently. The proposal to grant unconditional freehold ownership of lands allocated to farmers and low-income earners, as well as outlined in the Land Development Ordinance of number 19 of 1935, is a standout feature of the 2024 budget. Acquiring these Urume freehold deeds presents an opportunity to enhance the land value, preserve heritage and strengthen family economies. This initiative marks a significant stride towards promoting fair land ownership and empowering the public.
Signatures are being collected to a no-confident motion against Speaker Mahindayapa Abeyewardena. General Secretary of the Samagi Janabala Vegaya My apologies, Balavegia Ranjit Madhuma Bandar says that the Samagi People's Alliance headed by the SJB is ready to bring this no-confident motion. This no-confident motion is to be brought under the charge of violating the trust in Parliament and the clauses of the Constitution. It is reported that the Speaker has ignored the recommendations made by the Supreme Courts regarding several clauses of the recently passed online security bill. It is also reported that signatures for the no-confident motion is being taken at present.
Well, several politicians expressed their views regarding the current political situation. Former parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra says that there is not a single person to vote for the JVP in the Colombo area. It has some votes in rural areas. The party had created a fake wave of propaganda. Only the SJB has appropriate economic vision for the country. We don't want to request the voters to vote for Sajith. They are anticipating to vote for him. Parliamentarian Vijitha Herat says that Sajith is unable to punish the thieves, corrupted politicians like Rajitha Kiriyalla and many others who are with Sajith. Therefore, people must vote for the NPP to eliminate corruption once for all. Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa says that the politicians who work for the village and started development projects in rural areas have been rejected, and some persons are attempting to throw stones at the houses of public representatives. Some parties are unable to win elections although they have propaganda mechanisms. During the good governance regime, legal actions were taken against Rajapaksa family members. Some were remanded. However, the courts acquitted and released them.
මේ රනිල් ජනාධිපතිතුමා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කිව්වේ බලනකොට රනිල් ජනාධිපතිතුමාම තමයි කිව්වේ කමිටුවේ ප්‍රධානියා වෙලා ඉඳලා තියෙන්නේ අනුර කුමාර මහත්තයාගේ ලේකම්. ඉතින් ඒ අය එදා කියපු බොරුව අද ඒ විදිහටම කියනවා. කතා නම් පවත්වන්න පුළුවන් බදු වැඩි.
Parliamentarian Partili Champika Ranawaka says that any party can say that they will catch thieves and punish them. However, they don't have a plan to develop the country. Some leftist politicians send their children abroad for education. However, they say that they are patriotic leaders. We request the public not to be deceived by their lies.
මේ එළඹෙන ඡන්දේ දිනම් දැන උගත් විදියට හොඳට කල්පනා කරලා බලන්න. කතාවලට රැවටෙන්න එපා. ජනරලි වලට රැවටෙන්න එපා. අපේ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳන්න පුළුවන් පිරිසකට මේක බාර දෙන්න. සමීක්ෂණ අනුව මේ රටේ මුළු ජනගහනය.
Former parliamentarian Akila Viraj Kariwasam says that according to his new survey, 60% of the entire voters have not yet decided a leader to vote for. Although some parties bring huge crowds to their meetings, they don't have proper policies. With a wider alliance, we are able to attract floating voters. A large number of political parties have expressed willingness to create a political alliance with us, he says.
United Petroleum Australia has signed an agreement with the Ministry of Power and Energy to supply the petroleum products to Sri Lankan market. This agreement has been signed under the decision taken by the Sri Lankan government last year to further expand Sri Lanka's petroleum market further to private sector. The United Petroleum Australia private company is a leading fuel supplier in Australian subcontinent with the ownership of over 500 fuel stations. The company focuses attention for the quality of products and security and the environmental effects while carrying their businesses. The company has a wealth of billions of US dollars. The company owners are confident that the company will be able to provide quality service and products in Sri Lanka. They have started a company titled United Petroleum Lanka Private Limited at present. Leading professional of fuel and trade industry and former director board member of Sipetco, Dr. Prabhat Samarasinha, has been appointed as the chief executive officer of the new company.
Romanian ambassador in Sri Lanka, Domna Steluza Ahir, says that a cooperation will be signed to prevent imposing double taxes between the two countries. She made this comment at a meeting held today with Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The meeting took place at Temple Trees. They also agreed to work in cooperation in education, agriculture, railways, information technology, cybersecurity and tourism sectors between Romania and Sri Lanka. The bilateral trade between the two countries last year was at $127 million. The ambassador expressed her satisfaction for fourfold increase of the amount last year. About 40,000 Sri Lankans are working in Romania. She said that she praises them for their contribution to Sri Lanka's economy. The Prime Minister thanked her for the grant of employment opportunities for a large number of Sri Lankan migrant workers. Minister Viduru Ekamanayaka, Parliamentarian Yadamini Gunawardena, Prime Minister Secretary Anura Disanayaka and several others were present at this occasion.
Minister Mahinda Amaraveera says that a program is now underway to export a king coconut at a price of 2,000 rupees each. The minister made these remarks at the launch at the second village to cultivate king coconut for exportation yesterday. This village was established at Ralua area, and the first king coconut export-oriented cultivation village was set up at a lower Murthuwela area last year. About 10,000 king coconut saplings are to be planted in this village. There is a high demand for Sri Lankan king coconut in the UAE. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, a sum of 252,000 king coconuts are exported per week. A sum of 2 billion rupees was earned by king coconut export in 2022. In the year 2023, a sum of 6 billion rupees are targeted. The Agriculture Ministry expects to cultivate king coconuts as a commercial crop in the future. 1,600 king coconut saplings were distributed among the farmers to be planted in the second model village started yesterday. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said that there is a competition among the local exporters. Earlier, a king coconut is sold at a price of 1,500 rupees. However, it has gradually gone down to 1,000 rupees. Therefore, we must have a fixed price of 2,000 rupees a nut. A government will find some more countries to export Sri Lankan king coconut. There is a huge demand at present in the Middle East. Sri Lanka cannot supply the demand of the international market. Therefore, such king coconut cultivation villages will be set up island-wide in future.
And now for the weather situation. Well, the Met Department says that there will be a temporary change in the prevailing dry weather condition in the eastern and also the UA provinces from today. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education has issued a set of guidelines to prevent school children from the negative effects caused by the excessive heat condition prevailing these days. Well, a set of guidelines has been set to all provincial directors of education in order to enlighten all principals over these guidelines. Due to excessive setting, there may be dehydration, muscle pain and cramp among children. Therefore, water should be consumed more often. In case of excessive weariness and faintish feeling due to excessive heat, students are advised to have a rest in a cool and shady place, stopping all activities. A stroke condition also can occur due to the condition. Therefore, tight clothes should be removed and loosened, and also the body should be hydrated. It has also been stressed to take the patient to the nearest hospital, as this is a severe health risk. In some schools, there are sports meets and trainings as well. Students have been advised not to engage in such activities under direct sunlight. Ties should be removed from school uniform these days. A hat or an umbrella should be used to prevent from direct sunlight. Students should not wear black or colored garments. A bottle of pure drinking water should be kept in hand. Water or suitable liquids should be consumed frequently. According to the set of guidelines, in case of an uneasy situation, an elder or a teacher should be immediately informed.
The High Commission of Sri Lanka in Singapore celebrated the 76th anniversary of Sri Lanka's independence in the morning of 4th of February 2024 at the Chevrons Auditorium with the participation of around 250 members of the Sri Lankan expatriate community in Singapore and Friends of Sri Lanka. The formal ceremony commenced with the hoisting of the national flag by the High Commissioner Senarat Disanayaka, followed by the singing of the national anthem. A 2-minute silence was observed, paying tribute to those who sacrificed their lives to protect the freedom, unity, sovereignty and integrity of the motherland. Sri Lankan expatriates representing Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim communities, the representatives of the Sri Lankan associations in Singapore and migrant employees joined the High Commissioner in lighting the traditional oil lamp. Multi-faith religious observances embracing Buddhist, Hindu, Islam and Christian practices were conducted, invoking blessings upon the country and the people of Sri Lanka. The Independence Day messages of the President, Prime Minister and Foreign Minister were read out in Sinhala, Tamil and English. Addressing the gathering, the High Commissioner Dissanayake underscored the theme of the 76th Independence Day celebrations as Let's Build a New Country, which highlights the desire to create a prosperous Sri Lanka. He emphasized that the contribution of Sri Lankan expatriate community has been recognized by the establishment of the Office for Overseas Sri Lankan Affairs. The High Commissioner reiterated His Excellency the President's invitation to all Sri Lankans to contribute their utmost energy to rebuild the nation and urged Sri Lankans living in Singapore to join hands and actively contribute to the betterment of the country.
Independence Day celebrations in Thailand as well. Well, after signing Sri Lanka-Thailand, that's the free trade agreement on the 3rd of February 2024 in Colombo, and also making the new era of Sri Lanka-Thailand bilateral relations, Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Commerce, Phumtham Venchayachai, joined as guest of honor at the celebrations of Sri Lanka's 76th anniversary of independence in Bangkok, held at the Siam Society under the royal patronage in Bangkok on the 9th of February 2024, organized by the Embassy and also the Permanent Mission of Sri Lanka in Thailand. More than 300 guests, including ministers, deputy ministers, ambassadors, and also members of the diplomatic corps, senators and members of the National Assembly, members of the Royal Thai Police, and also the Tri-Forces, representatives of the international organizations, senior officials and ministries, and also departments, agencies of the Government of Thailand, business entities, universities, and other agencies in Thailand, and the Sri Lankan community joined the celebrations at the invitation of the Ambassador of Sri Lanka to the Kingdom of Thailand and permanent representative to UNESCAP Chamin the Colonne and spouse Stefan Senanayake by lighting the traditional oil lamp, and also the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Commerce and many other guests were present at this celebration.
22 million and 1 million rupees lottery winners of the Development Lotteries Board were provided with the relevant checks today. The ceremony was held at the auditorium of DRB head office. Super winners of the Lagnavasana and Supri Jayamalla were provided with cash prizes of 40.5 million rupees and 2.5 million rupees among the two winners respectively. Chairman and the Chief Executive of the Development Lotteries Board, Ajit Gunaratna Naragala, and General Manager Anura Jayaratna and several others were present at the ceremony.
And now the much talked about vegetable prices. The traders say that the prices of upcountry vegetables are going down further. Accordingly, many varieties of vegetables are available at low prices in the market. Well, our correspondent says that many vegetables are available at the price of less than 500 rupees a kilo. Traders attribute the situation to the arrival of large stocks of vegetables from Jaffna and other faraway areas to the market.
A discussion between the Samagi Jana Balawegaya and Eksat Janajaya Peramuna was held today at the SJB party headquarters. They focused attention on the content of the policy manifesto launched by the Eksat Janajaya Peramuna recently. The General Secretary of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, National Organizer Thisathanayake and several others were present at the meeting. Leader of the Eksat Janajaya Peramuna, Patili Champika Ranavaka, Chairman Consultant Dr. Ajit Amarasinghe, General Secretary Bandula Chandrasekara and several others participated on behalf of the Eksat Janajaya Peramuna. Leader of the Eksat Janajaya Peramuna, Padili Champika Ranavaka, said the country needs an alliance at this juncture. A wider alliance should be formed to save the country from the current crisis situation. Parliamentarian Thisathanayake said that we held discussions with the Eksat Janajaya Peramuna to compare our program with the policies of Janajaya Peramuna. Such a discussion is very much essential for the country.
Well, we now have more local news items in brief. Country representative of JICA, Tetsuya Yamada, met Health Secretary Dr. Mahipala. Today at the Ministry of Health, Tetsuya Yamada enlightened the Health Secretary regarding the JICA-funded health development projects in Sri Lanka. Three persons were injured in a road accident occurred between Kottawa and Kathudu along the southern expressway this morning. This happened when a small lorry collided behind a cement transporting lorry. 3 commuters travelling in the light lorry were injured and admitted to the Homagama Base Hospital. A hospital spokesman said that the condition of the driver is somewhat serious. A retired army soldier attempted to set a world record by driving a 3-wheeler reverse. He has reversed his 3-wheeler from Mukkutoduava to Madurankuliya town and then up to the Baduloya road barrier along the Puttalam-Colombo main road. The building constructed at Kattamberiya Primary School in Malseripura under the social treatment program of the Delma Lanka private company was vested with students recently. Well, that's news at home. Time for a short break. We'll be coming back with international stories shortly.
Hot and spicy fun by Bigger.
Welcome back to the news, and we are now moving on to news overseas. Heading into Ukraine. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky says that 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed during the Russia's full-scale invasion.
The Ukrainian president said that he would not give the number of the wounded as that would help Russian military planning. Ukrainian officials do not make casualty figures public and other estimates are much higher. It comes after the defense minister said half of all Western and for aid for Ukraine has been delayed, costing lives and territory. Zelensky said that he was providing an updated death toll in response to the inflated figures that Russia has quoted. Speaking about the wider losses in the war, Zelensky said tens of thousands of civilians had died in the areas of Ukraine. Or rare for Ukraine to provide a military death toll, and other estimates suggest a much higher number. US officials in August put the number of Ukrainian soldiers killed at 70,000 and as many as 120,000 injured. In terms of Russian losses, Ukraine President further said that at least 180,000 Russian soldiers have been killed and tens of thousands more injured. In February, the UK's Defence Ministry estimated 350,000 Russian troops had been killed or injured.
Prima Kottumi, Fantamai.
It's the big match season and a lot of excitement is happening at every cricket grounds. The big match between Thurston and Isipatana colleges in Colombo ended in a draw.
And this match was played at the SSC grounds in Colombo. Well, batting first, Isipatana scored 250 for 9 in the first innings. Tarushka Eshal scored 102 in bowling. Vihas Thaumika claimed 6 wickets for 74. In reply, Thurston team scored 253 for 8 wickets in the first innings and declared. Vihas Thaumika scored 77 in bowling. Sithu Gunawardana claimed 4 wickets. The match ended in a draw when Isipatana scored 113 for 1 wicket in the second innings. The best fielder of the match was Rachinta De Silva of Thurston. Vihas Thaumika of Thurston was named the best bowler. The best batsman award went to Rushka Ashel of Isipatana, and he also won the best all-rounder award. Vihas Thaumika of Thurston was named man of the series.
Now, Lyceum International School Vattala became the champions of the school athletic tournament held among the international schools. The tournament concluded yesterday at the Sugatadasa Stadium in Colombo. About 1,500 athletes representing 22 international schools island-wide participated in this tournament organised by the Gateway International School. Lyceum International School Vattala became the champions with 803 points. Gateway International School became the runner-up with 756 points. Third place was won by Lyceum International School in Panadura. Shanela Senaviratna of the Gateway International School was honoured as the best female athlete, and Deneth Vijay Ratna of the Leeds International School was named as the best male athlete.
සුවත්තුමි පන්තමයි.
Well, that's the news, and do enjoy the rest of the programs together with Sharon. This is Clifford, wishing you a pleasant night.